Hello, welcome to my kitchen. It is Casual Sunday, and today I have some time on my hands, so I figured I would walk you all through the process of how I plan my meals for this week based around what I have in my fridge, freezer, and pantry. I will share with you a super budget minimal grocery haul and then go over everything that we're gonna prep and make this week. So let's go. So this is the meal planner that I am using. You can get this on Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive, so I can link it down below. I went ahead and made a list of everything that I want to use up, and then I planned my meals around those things. So in my pantry, I have these potatoes. It's kind of a mixture of like smaller yellow potatoes and russet potatoes, but I've been craving potato salad for a while, and I probably need to get these used up. A couple of them are sprouting in the eyes a little bit. And then I also have this box of mac and cheese. So what I'm planning to do one night is do hot dogs and hamburgers, and then for the kids I'll make mac and cheese, and then Adam and I will eat the potato salad. My kids don't really like potato salad, and then I can also use up this can of green beans that I have in the pantry as well. And I pretty much have all of the ingredients for hamburgers and hot dogs. I've got some hot dog buns and some hamburger buns in here. We actually grilled out late last week, so I don't have to buy those items. So I went ahead and put that for one meal. This particular meal planner, it does have it like divided out into days of the week. I usually just plan 5 meals, and then we can kind of have those on different days as time allows. So I don't necessarily stick to the particular days of the week that I put them under, but it is kind of helpful just to line out what you're going to make for the week. I also have this jar of Cheese Whiz that's like staring me in the face every time I come into the pantry. And the reason I got this was because there's actually there's several different recipes that I use for cheesy potatoes. This one I actually need to use by July 15th. So I've got some time. But anyway, there's 2 different recipes that I use for cheesy potatoes. One of them has Cheese Whiz. It's actually like very rich and not that healthy. It was a recipe that my mom gave me and that she used to make like back in the 90s. And then the other recipe that I use just uses like regular shredded cheese, sour cream, melted butter, cream of chicken, soup. So I'll save that for another week. My kids aren't like huge fans of cheesy potatoes. Actually, I think Connor likes them. So maybe I'll save that for next week. But like I said, what I ended up doing was last night I kind of went through my refrigerator mostly. I always go through the refrigerator first because those are the things that typically need to be used up before they go to waste. And all I did was make a list of things to use up. And then as I'm going through that list, I can plan my meals off of what I already have, so I'm buying minimal ingredients at the grocery store. So the produce situation, what I'm actually going to do, I think right now, since I have some time today, is I'm going to take all of this produce out of my produce drawer and just kind of lay it out here on the counter so I can see everything that I have. A lot of times stuff gets kind of like shoved back in there. You don't see it. You don't use what needs to be used. Like, look, here's some dill. I knew I had dill, but like that looks like it's in pretty good shape, right? So we want to use that up. Cucumbers. I have a big bunch of parsley, some questionable looking green onions, red onions. Oh, I have some purple cabbage. What are we gonna do with that? I don't know. Poblano peppers. Ooh, these are looking not so hot. Maybe we can save them. I don't know. We'll see. And then I have like a little knob of ginger, some onion. Maybe I can chop these up and freeze them so they don't go to waste. Let's just clean out this drawer while we're in here. So the other thing I have is this ham. I think I'm going to make some ham salad out of this, but then I'm also probably going to end up freezing some of it. This is left over from Easter, so I need to decide what I'm going to do with it in the next couple of days, probably. I actually have the bone from the ham that I made. Also, it's in a baggie out in the garage fridge, and so I can make like ham and beans with that. But one other thing I wanted to use up from late last week also is this Spanish rice that I made. And this actually, so Spanish rice, if you make it ahead of time and then reheat it in the microwave. It actually reheats really well. And so I decided what I'll do one night is chicken fajitas and then that leftover Spanish rice. I've got these peppers I can use for the fajitas. I do need to get some chicken breast because I had a stash in the freezer, but I went through it, so I'm all out of that. I have some cilantro. I need to get that washed up. Red onion so I can make pico. And then I will need to get a bag of onions also because I'm out of that. Hello, future Jen coming to you here. I'm actually on travel for work this week, but I wanted to tell you how much of a difference all of that planning I did last week helped with getting meals on the table for my family. But another thing you should consider if you have a family is planning for your future, and that includes getting life insurance. My husband and I, obviously, we both have incomes and contribute to our household, and we also have children, and we think it's super important to cover your family with life insurance in case the unexpected happens. So thank you to Fabric by Gerber Life for sponsoring today's video. Fabric by Gerber Life is life insurance that you can get done today. It's super easy. It's made for busy parents just like you, and it's all online and on your schedule. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. And if you've got kids, and especially if you're young and healthy, the time to lock in low rates is now. Even if you have life insurance through your employer, it might not follow you if you leave your job, or it also might not be enough coverage. Personally, that's why I also carry a term life insurance policy on myself, in addition to the life insurance that I have through my employer. And Fabric also has flexible policies that fit your life and your budget, like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. Fabric has partnered with Gerber Life, trusted by millions of families like yours for over 50 years. There's also no risk. There's actually a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. They have over 1,900 5-star reviews on Trustpilot with a rating of excellent. And Fabric actually has more than just life insurance. You can get access to investment accounts to invest for your kids' future. They also have free digital wills, which I think is super cool, and lots more. And the best part is that you can manage it all right from your phone. So join the thousands of parents that trust Fabric to protect their family. You can apply today in minutes at meetfabric.com/Jen. That's MEET fabric.com/Jen. If you're on your phone, I'll also have a button on the screen you can tap right here, but otherwise head down to the description box below. Go to meetfabric.com/Jen. Super easy to apply. I actually just did mine a couple of weeks ago. You can do it right from your phone while you're sitting on the couch watching your favorite show. Thank you again to Fabric for being a continued sponsor of my channel. And let's get back to my meal planning for the week. So the next thing that I wanted to use up is my ricotta cheese. I feel like I bought this several weeks ago and my plan was to make lasagna and I just never made it. So I'm gonna make lasagna one night this week. I have ricotta. I typically mix my ricotta with cottage cheese, and I know that makes some people cringe, but that's the way I've always done it. Especially in the Midwest, like my mom always used cottage cheese in lasagna, and so I do both. I mix both. Eggs. Oh, this is a good one. Parmesan. I probably need to get some more Parmesan because I think I'm out of that. I might have I have a green can somewhere, but oh, actually, that's almost gone. So that's just what I try to do, is kind of just go through, think of things that I can build meals around. That way I'm buying less. I also already have mozzarella cheese. I'm not going to dig it out. It's somewhere in there. It's an unopened like block of mozzarella cheese, so I can just shred that up. And then I always keep some type of tomato products in my pantry. So I happen to have a jar of marinara sauce, but I think I have like some canned crushed tomatoes. I also have jarred marinara sauce that I made last summer. That's quite delicious. I've been kind of rationing it out. My sister actually is gonna have a garden this year. Okay, so I'm not great at like growing things. I can grow things on my deck, like herbs and, you know, little tomato plants and stuff like that. But in terms of a garden, I haven't even really tried it before. And I want to try it someday. I don't have time right now. I travel too much for work. I'm gone too much to be able to take care of it. And so I told my sister, well, if you can grow the food, I can can the food. And I'm actually going to get a pressure canner. So side note, if you guys have any recommendations for pressure canners, let me know, because I have a hot water bath canner, but I haven't invested in a pressure canner yet. I know that they also now have, I think Presto has an electric pressure canner, but I've read some like differing things online about whether that's actually like USDA certified for pressure canning. I believe there's a university that tested it out, but essentially the only quote researched safe method of pressure canning is doing it on the stovetop. That way you can monitor everything. But again, I'm not an expert, so let me know if I'm wrong. And then for the lasagna, I always keep lasagna noodles on hand, so I have more than enough for my lasagna. Also, if you guys have been keeping up on my channel, my dishwasher is broken, and so I've been trying to, like, not for every meal, but you know, use foil pans when I can. I have been trying to like grill more often. We haven't been using paper plates like every night for dinner, but obviously I know that many people don't have a dishwasher, but it is amazing when you like to cook and you cook a lot, like multiple meals a day, how many dishes you generate and how long it takes to wash them every night. And yes, before anyone says, yes, my kids help me wash dishes, but you know, I totally get that it's first world problems for sure. And then also for the lasagna, I want to make some salad and some bread. I have bread in the freezer, and then I want to make some like homemade ranch dressing. So I am going to grab some more buttermilk. Okay, so we've got chicken fajitas, lasagna, hot dogs, burgers. Okay, beef and noodles. Okay, so I'm out in my garage freezer actually, which needs to be defrosted at some point. But we always have roasts in here. So we do a half of a cow. We get one from someone that Adam works with once a year. And pretty much half of a cow lasts our family of 4 all year for beef. We get ground beef, steaks, roasts, all of that stuff. So I have plenty of beef in here to make beef and noodles. And then with that, I will steam up or boil these carrots. I like to put honey butter on them. And then I typically, sometimes I do like the Reams frozen noodles, but my kids actually really like egg noodles. So I think I'll do that instead this time. And I do have to buy the egg noodles because I don't have any in my pantry. And then the last thing is just some chicken stir fry. So I will need to buy chicken for that. Probably a few, well, actually, do I need veggies for a stir fry? I don't think so because I have broccoli. I might get some water chestnuts or something like that. I have everything else on hand for the stir fry. I have rice. I have dumplings in the freezer, and then I have cucumbers there's like a Asian cucumber salad that I like to make with green onions, sesame oil, soy sauce. It's really good. And then what I'm thinking too is I'll prep some ham salad. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do it today. We'll see. I'll probably make some ham salad this week and then some orzo salad because I have this big, not really big, but I have a jar of orzo in the pantry. And then I also have the dill, which would go well in that, cucumbers, red onion. I could probably even put some of that red cabbage in there too. I do need to get some tomatoes, put peppers in there. And then I have this like smaller container, or it's not a small container, but it's like a little bit of feta left in there that I want to use up. So that'll go great with that. Okay, so we got our plan. That you can see how like little time that took me, right? It maybe took me like 15 minutes or so. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through all of the meals that I wanna make, and then I'm gonna make my shopping list. I'm gonna order my groceries. I have Walmart Plus, not sponsored. I love it though because I can get delivery. Not grocery shopping saves me so much time. Obviously, I still like going into the store every once in a while, but it saves me so much time. And also, I don't know, you guys can let me know if you feel like this too, but I feel like sometimes when I go in the store, like you just impulse shop, right? Because you see all the new things, and like sometimes that's fun, right? But especially if you're trying to stick to a budget, I really think that grocery pickup, like if you don't do delivery, grocery pickup, online ordering, grocery delivery, can save you a lot of money in the long run because you're not like pushing your cart through the store being like, oh, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna put my order in for groceries, and once they get here, I'll show you what I got. The other thing that I was gonna mention about, you know, grocery shopping online is that I don't know if other grocery stores do this, but like Walmart at least keeps a kind of like a log of what you've ordered before. So I like to just like scroll through that and think like, oh yeah, I don't have any applesauce. I need applesauce. That's something I always buy. Or like tuna. you know, different things like that. And then it just kind of keeps it in the front of my mind so that I'm not forgetting like my regulars, especially with produce. Obviously I'm already past that part, but like I went through and like ordered some berries and some grapes and oranges and things like that for the kids' lunches this week. All right, so while I'm waiting for my groceries, I'm gonna go ahead and prep some of my produce. So I have this cilantro. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that washed. I always like to use my salad spinner because then I can soak the produce, especially like for herbs and things like that. You can soak your produce in cold water and kind of rehydrate it if it's a little bit limp. So I want to make some pico for my fajitas. I don't have all of the ingredients yet. I'm still waiting on the tomatoes from the grocery store, but I can go ahead and start chopping everything up and getting it in a container to mix together. Pico de gallo will keep in the fridge for a while. I probably wouldn't keep it past like, I don't know, 5 to 7 days, but it's a great thing to have in your fridge to just make things more flavorful. I really like to put it on like breakfast burritos, you know, taco salads, that kind of thing. Sometimes I even just dip tortilla chips in it. I also have this partial red onion, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up as well. So how I normally like to store my herbs is once I dry them in the salad spinner, I just kind of lay them out onto a paper towel, and then at this point they're mostly dry, but obviously the paper towel will absorb any extra moisture. This is a bunch of green onions that I had in my fridge, but I haven't washed yet. So what I've been doing with green onions, and I've been buying them pretty consistently because I've been finding that I like to add them to a lot of dishes. But typically what I do is I'll just cut off like the very tops or the wrinkled parts and then cut off the very bottom. Now this too, you can add, so if you have the roots of green onions like this, you can actually add these. I would leave it a little bit longer than that, but you can put them in a bowl or a glass really of water and keep them in your fridge, and they will actually regrow. But anyway, what I like to do with these is I like to cut them in half, kind of where the dark green meets the white / light green. And then I'll just soak these in cold water in my salad spinner, wash them like that. These parts are better for like cooking and sauteing, like if I make fried rice, and then the dark green parts are better for garnishing, obviously. All right, my groceries just got here, so let me get these inside and I'll show you what I got. All right, so this is everything that I got for $112. I feel a bit depressed at that number, but anyway, let's go through. Okay, so I did get some tater tots. I always like to keep these in the freezer as like an option for a quick side for dinner. I felt for a couple weeks now that I wanted to make tater tot casserole, and I haven't done it yet, so I grabbed those. I got this chicken. How many pounds is this? 2.6 pounds. So this will get split between the chicken stir fry and the chicken fajitas that I'm going to make. Also got some buttermilk for that ranch dressing, extra mayo. I always like to keep a backup jar of this in the pantry, and so got a refill of that. Some Parmesan cheese, string cheese. Connor and Adam really like this. I put it in Connor's lunch with his PB&J sandwiches most days. Some American cheese. I always keep this on hand for grilled cheese, and then some people in our family, not me, I like cheddar, prefer American cheese on their sandwiches. And then I got some pepperoni. Kira likes a combination of pepperoni and turkey on her sandwiches for lunch. I did get some more ramen noodles. I need to investigate where I can buy these in bulk at a better price. I could probably maybe order them on Amazon. I'm not sure, but this is our favorite kind of ramen, and I always keep a stock of this in the pantry just as a quick meal if we need it. It's also good, like sometimes I posted a video actually this week about my weight loss and semaglutide, and sometimes I like to eat this for lunch if my stomach is a little bit upset, but I'm still hungry and I need something to eat. light brown sugar just for baking. Oranges, I've been buying these every week for a fruit option. Some ginger for the chicken stir fry. A bag of onions, pickles, just to keep these in stock in the fridge. We were out of the kosher dill, Clausen spears, and then I always keep the hamburger dill chips on hand for burgers and things like that. Croutons for the salad, grapes, strawberries, raspberries. Oh, I was gonna say, I thought I got blueberries. I did. Blueberries, tomatoes for the orzo salad, and then lettuce for the garden salads with the lasagna. Some bananas, regular tomatoes for slicing for different sandwiches, some egg noodles for the beef and noodles, and then I got 2 bags of sunflower seeds. Connor likes the flavored ones, so got those for him. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my meal plan and grocery haul this week. Let me know if this was helpful to you in terms of going through my thought process of how I plan meals for the week and try to keep my grocery budget low. And if you want to see what I eat in a day after I have lost almost 40 pounds on semaglutide, you can click on this video right here.